Hi. So the other day, I was driving my son to school, and we were talking about teachers, and he said, "You know what, Mom? You were a good teacher." And I said, "Thanks, bud. Appreciate that." And I was lucky enough to have him in fourth grade, and I got to teach him reading, and he's a great reader. I said, "Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that." And he said, "Except you drove me nuts." And I said, "Oh, yeah, moms do that." He goes, "No, it wasn't just a mom thing." And I said, "Okay, well, how did I drive you nuts?" And he said, "You never let us finish anything." I said, "Of course I did. Hey, I graded papers." And he said, "No, like I could have made my work better. You didn't give us time to think it through and make our work as good as it could be." And I thought, yeah, he's probably right. I lack focus. I lack the um, the focus to make sure that what I get done and when I get started, it gets done because I get so excited. There's so many things to do. There's so many neat activities. And oh, well, why don't we do this? And we can do this. And he totally called me out because I had a lot of quantity and I didn't make sure the quality was in my instruction. And I noticed that maybe I'm not using quality in my relationships with students. I talk to them, I ask them questions. But do I really know them? Do I really make sure that what I give them quality work and give them time to make sure that their work is quality? And I felt seen, to be honest. And I was reading the Cashman text, and this quote really caught my attention. "Improve the quality of the activity and reduce the quantity somewhat." And through the P20 process of leadership, I have thought this is going to be my focus. For this year, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to improve the quality of what I ask of people. And I am going to expect quality back and not as much quantity. Because if they can do something and they do it well, why do they have to do as much of it? And I started researching and I thought, well, I've heard quality over quantity a lot. How does that work in leadership? And Jack Zinger wrote, "We need both. Most of the time, you are measured on the amount you push out, the quantity." And so I have standards that I have to make sure that I know, that teachers I work with know, and there's a lot of quantity. But I don't have to show the quality of my work very often. And do I expect the kids to show me quality? So I started weighing that and I thought, well, but I need quantity and I need quality. How do I balance that? And in an article from Harvard Business Review, I saw that if quality is good for creating ideas, if quantity is good for creating ideas, then quality is good to lead us on a vision. And that kind of settled my mind. I can have the quantity because I love all the things. I love the activities and I love the games and I love hands-on learning. I love to collaborate with people. But where do all of those things meet quality instruction and quality leadership? So we need both. You have to have all of the things so that you can decide which one is the direction you want to take it in. And once you get your vision, you have to make sure that what you're doing is quality. So, how do I use this in education? And I had a student teacher last semester. She's amazing. She was smart and driven and intelligent and loved the kids. And it was her time to do a unit for the class. And so we sat down and we discussed, these are the standards. Got a lot of those. Let's narrow it down. This is what I've taught. This is what maybe you could teach. We picked out the standards. And she had to do a pre-test and a post-test. And I said, that's great. You can measure learning. And then she said, okay, I'm going to go find my stuff. And I said, do you have your questions yet? Have you written your questions you need that you know what you want to assess? And she goes, no, I don't have my stuff yet. Haven't got my worksheets. I don't have my activities. And I said, wait a minute, you don't do that yet. And she goes, well, of course you do. That's what I learned. And I said, but how do you know what you're looking for unless you know what you need to do, what your focus is? And she said, that's a really good question. Usually I find the materials and then I ask questions. And I said, but if you've got standards, you ask your questions. It's called backwards design. And then you find your materials. And she said, well, that makes a whole lot of sense. And I said, it does. Let's try it. And through the policy and curriculum backwards design, I think there's a lot of quality over quantity that could happen. And I want to be able to help teachers, student teachers, teachers in my building create quality instruction for students. So, how am I going to do that? This summer, I get to help teachers with quality strategies of teaching. I'm going to be at the Murray State Summit and the Tech Meet in Western Kentucky this year to help teachers learn blended learning. So I take an innovative idea that you could have centers and also teach using technology and the teacher to meet the best needs of the students. So I have to find quality materials to use for my students and help teachers figure out how to use the best quality of all of the quantity out there. So, blended learning instruction for teachers is how I'm going to engage teachers in using quality materials in education. Service, I'm just waiting for it because the state of Kentucky, KDE, Kentucky Department of Education, has sent out where you can join a professional development, and they are looking for teachers to take the standards and build quality lessons to teach and research, reflect, and then push them out to the other teachers in the state. We're building a curriculum lesson base for other teachers in the state, but it's only K through 2 right now, and I don't teach K through 2 social studies. So I'm waiting for the 3 through 5 social studies, science, reading, and math, and writing, because I want to be a teacher leader that helps other teachers produce quality materials and look at quality curriculum for education. My last one is research. Through research, I figured out that quality does make a difference. In P20, the quality of the instruction is going to build on each other to make students ready for the next level. So if I can provide quality instruction and help others provide quality instruction for students and look at the data that says this is what a student needs to be able to achieve the next grade level content, I feel like I'm being successful as an educational leader. And this year I've started I got to be the leader of the vertical alignment meeting. And I also had the chance to worked with teachers last year on vertical alignment from K through 3 and interventions. And I want to continue doing that. So this year, we're also looking at new textbooks, and I want to look into the research of vertical alignment of quality instruction over the quantity of materials we have. And then we're going to clean out our desk today, and hopefully my students have less work stuffed in the back of their desks that is unfinished and not quality work. Maybe